Hello there. We are now live for all of you who sign in early, either during the live performance or you look at the replay. Please note that Tommy and I will get on it a few moments before we actually begin to do some background work. First off, I'd like to wish Tommy and his family, I hope they had a very warm Christmas season. And we won't say New Year's yet because we're going to talk again next week, right? The day before. Is it the day after New Year's? The day after. That's
Yeah,
right. So, and I also wish you a proactive Happy New Year celebration also.
sure. It's going
And
to be
so,
interesting.
it should be, to put it mildly. What we do here, for those who are new to us, Tommy, in his industry, is well known for what he does very well, and that's confidence in public speaking. My belief is I don't have both, and or either, to be more blunt about it. And his premise is anybody can be a confident public speaker, and not just for the sake of doing it, but because if you want to represent your business of valued merit, represent yourself to the world around you, it's important to have that. And I'm saying you're born with it by just your DNA sequence. He says it can happen. Another reminder, folks, for those who sign into YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, please feel free to leave comments to get back to us. If you're watching it through YouTube, you have to be signed in through your Google account to make comments work. I'm beginning to get some people who've experienced error messages. If you fall in that category, please let us know so we can see what we can do to work on that. So, what I'd like to do, as we're saying good morning, thank you, Bob Mitchie, for wishing us a good morning also. I hope you guys, I don't know about this guy, Bob, we're getting off a little bit subject here, but Bob Mitchie is always showing the most fantastic images of food, cooking, of family styles, and it's very nice, but I just wish you would share some of that stuff out, and I will send you my special shipping address. Thanks for visiting us. I appreciate that.
He actually brought me two hot chocolate
Oh,
bombs.
oh, don't tell me
Oh
that.
yeah,
No,
oh yeah.
jeez. Okay, well
So
let's get
just so you could be a little more jealous.
yeah,
Go ahead.
let's get his chat off right off the bat then. So, my theme for today, folks, is people who say there are people who have real fear about public speaking. And I'm going to assume Tommy's going to say, oh, we can deal with that. But I'm going to give you an example here. And it's like if you ever walked out of, we have a house, there are two tall bushes. And sometimes when it's spring, summertime, I walk out, a spider has built a cobweb across the walkway. Well, it hits me in my face, and literally I become an instant kung fu artist because I'm swiping all over the place trying to get that stuff off me.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you told me I had to walk through 30 of those spider webs to get from point A to point B, you'd have a serious issue with me making it happen. So how do you deal with people who have this real fear?
I make them walk through spider webs. It's
Ah,
as easy as that. It's well, it's interesting you say that. So here we are. Good morning, everyone. You mentioned earlier, you said I don't have both, right? I don't have both. So when
yes.
you think about that, either you say you do or either you say you don't.
Well,
Either,
I'm saying I don't, so we're clear on that.
but either way, you're correct. So maybe just the paradigm shift is to stop believing that you do, and start to build on that. It's all a paradigm shift. But I want to tell you something about an experience I had that maybe it fits today. You're talking about the cobwebs and the things that what we're talking about is a breakthrough, right? You would have to break through that fear, push your way through. So breakthrough is a great word. A lot of people don't think of what a breakthrough is, but we hit the wall and we got to break through the wall or get over it, around it, whatever you need to do to succeed. Tony Robbins, he calls it fire walking. He makes people walk on fire, right? And there's hot coals that were burning all weekend. And the idea is that if you could walk on fire, you could do anything. But I always tell people I would rather walk on fire than to do cold calls. You know,
Well,
I don't like doing cold calls.
you
Here I
now,
am.
folks, that we can agree on.
Yeah. So I'd rather walk on fire. So there are things that people would rather do than public speaking. But the thing is, do you need to do it and will it improve you personally and professionally? That's
Right.
the question we're really asking. If you really don't want to do it, my suggestion is don't.
Hmm.
But if you do and you know it's going to enhance your career, then get good at it. That's the only thing I have to say about it. So we can cut this short. I'm 3 minutes in. I'm done. All right.
Hey, you were done before you got online, so I understand how that one works.
Oh, look at you. Well
So,
rested.
anyway, having said that, my left brain says, I hear what you're saying, but my
Yeah.
right brain is saying, no, no, no. I don't. If I get these spider webs all over me to get in my hair, there'll be some spider that will come down and bite my cheek and paralyze me and feed me to their babies syndrome. I don't see it quite as easy. Well, just do it. Are there some little steps someone can take to kind of move in that direction, assuming it's
Well,
possible?
with a guy like you, I have the solution if you're ready. Yeah, that amazing imagination that you have, that these things are going to feed you to their babies.
That's my fear, folks. That's what we're
Yeah.
talking about here.
Well, maybe we should do therapy next week and skip this session, because in reality, imagination is the greatest tool we were given, by God, to use our imagination. So we use our imagination subconsciously to build that fear, but we could have a paradigm shift and use our imagination to really see us breaking through, to practice, to make believe you're in front of an audience. The more you make believe you're in front of an audience, the more you're comfortable where you'll be when you actually get in front of an audience. So, I always say, in most things we have to do in life, the old adage is, fake it till you make it, right? But make believe. Right? The imagination, you can make believe you are anything and go out and do it. Like you're in your mind, you saw spiders eating you and feeding you to your young. So why can't you take that same mindset and shift it to the imagination of you being a superstar presenter? Mindset.
Well, I hear that. So, mindset. What do I do then? Do I start putting my stuffed dolls in front of me, or have my cat sit and listen, or my dog? I promise him some food and talk to them as I practice my speech making. What's this imagining it's going to happen syndrome? Are there baby steps one can take to move in that direction? Because I'm not seeing it yet.
Well, I would suggest that more importantly than anything, start talking about things you're passionate about. What do you like? What do you like that you can talk about? If you were having a conversation with someone, I don't know if you're a sports guy or not, but I'm a New York Rangers, I'm a New York Yankees guy.
I'm sorry to hear that, Tommy.
What's your favorite team?
Well, I'm from Chicago, so it's the Bears. It's the Bears, the Bulls. That's
There
where
you
it
go.
goes.
So, if you were having a conversation with someone and you were going to go out and talk about your love of the Bears or, the Ditka days or, the Jordan days, your passion would come out and you would be getting that point across to anybody. So there's no difference between getting that out to one person and making a presentation about something you love, that you're excited about, that you want to share with a bunch of people, right? So if you were doing a story on Michael Jordan, who may be the greatest of all time, it's up for debate. There's many, many greats, but you can talk about his greatness and how he focused on the game, and your message can improve someone's life because you could tell them to be like Mike, right? And build this whole story up. So go ahead.
I hear that. As you're talking, a thought comes to mind, and we talk about the theme is public speaking and confidence. Is there such thing as private speaking? Because when people, I get lost on words sometimes and concepts. So there's a deliberate public speaking component. There must be a counter private speaking component. Does that exist? And if so, what's the difference?
Wow. Well, it's what we started out on, and when I was saying do and don't, either way, you're right. So if you're talking private speaking, the person we talk to the most is ourselves. So, private speaking, let's face it, nobody's told me more lies than I've told myself. If somebody lied to me as much as I've lied to myself, they wouldn't be in my life. Yeah, no, and that's the crazy.
I hear that. I admit to that. Excuse me, folks, as I do that. We don't agree very. Yeah, right. Don't rub it in.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? It comes down to the fact that you can literally reprogram yourself. Get through the fear, have faith in yourself that you can do this. Again, I'll repeat what I said earlier. If it's something you want to do, then go out and excel at it. If it's something you don't want to do and you just don't want to do it, why beat yourself up? But if you have to do it, it's part of your professional life, even if it's part of your personal life. Listen, if you have kids, you've given speeches to your kids over and over and over without even thinking about it.
Okay.
The do's and don'ts of life, right? You
Good
have your
point.
kids standing in front of you, you start telling them the do's and don'ts. So we've all spoken in public. We just don't think about it.
Good point. Well, then.
Thanks.
Jeez.
You might want to start adding them up.
Fair enough. Ah, boy.
We're going for the knockout soon.
Excuse me. Let me take a break on this one. I rinsed my mouth out. Sorry, folks.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, that being said, I kind of get what you're saying about speaking seems to be more natural, perhaps, than we would assume it to be. And you give the example of talking to one's children. I can understand that to some degree.
Yeah.
Well, and I also would say, do I want to become a public speaker? Do I want to appear to be confident when I'm not? Maybe, probably not. But do I have to do it if I feel it's important for my business? In fact, that brings up another question. Why is it important if I'm talking to you, or not to you, or you to me, but I'm talking to a possible client? Why should I be good at public speaking? How does that help me versus somebody who's not so good at it?
Well, that first impression is huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Right.
So if you can put your thoughts together and release them through words, right? There's nothing better than that's how we connect with human beings. We always have. We can think about it. A smile starts things off. You start to build bonding and rapport. You start to communicate with another human being. They start to take interest in you. Really, this is why I talk about community. Where you and I focus on the idea of public speaking, which is great. But, there's different levels of it. And communication skills, right, are a huge part of public speaking. So we can break it down into different levels. But it's going to be important to be able to communicate with someone above you, someone in management, your fellow employees. The communication is what bonds us with people. When we have the ability to communicate, we can bring things down. If there's a tense moment and we can communicate with confidence in it, it has people believe in us. So there's a lot that goes with communication skills that, again, are based around public speaking. But certainly if we want to communicate with management, and somebody went in before you and couldn't get their sentences together, wouldn't you shine a little bit more because you had the ability to communicate? I think so.
Okay. Well, you've just introduced a whole new topic for me to work at here. I'll even say pounce on. You indicated that communication skills working around public speaking. I kind of see public speaking as working around communication skills. Again, which comes first, communication skills or public speaking? Which is a subset of the other without getting too much math going here?
Yeah, you know what? I think they're both separate skills, but I think you can learn public speaking, learn how to present yourself, how to stand, how to be strong, how to use facial expressions, right? How to use gestures, how do you appear? I always say when we talk about appearance, yeah, you want to look good, right, when you go on a job interview, but if you appear confident and you show that you're competent, there's nothing better than that. Nothing. Okay. Confidence is huge. It's what people are attracted to more than anything. So we say it a lot. If you walk in with a bit of a swagger because you're confident, right, I always think you have a better chance.
Interesting. So so to make the distinction more clear for me, isn't that a part of communication skill, your presentation style?
Yeah. The reason I said it with the presentation style is, what are the things you can work on? That would be the thing. What are the things you can work on? Nobody's broken. Nobody needs to be fixed. But in most people's lives, even when it comes to presentation skills or public speaking, things need to be improved. So you need to be aware of where you are and where do you want to go, right? And then each day make constant and never-ending improvement. So the secret is not to be afraid of where you are. It's to start taking the steps to where you want to be. And really what it comes down to is once you have it in your head and it becomes a learned skill, you can improve every day to get better and better and better. Think about it. If you practiced for 365 days, 1 year later, you're going to be better at public speaking. Guaranteed. So the answer is yes, it's little increments of improvement.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're implying is that this is what our 15th session. We've been doing this. We do this weekly, folks, by the way. And a commercial break. Sorry for that. For those who like to keep in touch with us, and I've been asked that, how do I, having stumbled across this spar session between Tommy and myself, how do they keep up to us? Click the subscribe button on the bottom right hand side of the image, and that will allow you to have where it is, whichever side. See, there you go. Now, actually, I'm making a sincere comment here. Tommy is clearly much better at this public speaking stuff than I do. I'm kind of sitting here like a zombie talking to you, and he's actually showing animation and involvement. So at that point, I got to tap my hat to you that I
because I'm a child.
I believe. Oh, why? You haven't done that part yet. But you got well-developed thumbs. I'll give you that. But certainly that it's something that we really want your feedback. We really want to hear from you. If you have questions we haven't thought about, please share that back with us also.
What I'd like to hear, if you're listening to this,
please.
Always send us a note on where you feel you're stuck. I was talking about moving up in levels. Now, did you get to a level and you feel you're stuck, that you're not finding the breakthrough? I'd be glad to answer any question you might have if you need a breakthrough. Chances are I know the answer because I've been there and I made the breakthrough. So let me know if you have any challenges on where you are, and let me know where you want to go.
Okay. And Tommy, an audience, that's why I would doing this spar session, because the guy comes across as completely confident and competent, and his people say that. I'm still not buying it. So
not yet. It's been a while.
Please get in touch with us. Let us know what your thoughts and concerns and questions are. Take Tommy up on his offer, because it's more food fodder for me to work with, and I would really appreciate this. Again, folks, thanks for signing in. And Tommy, thanks for giving that. No thanks for that at all. I'm glad you shared your perspective of people reaching out to us, because that's what this is really all about. Everybody wish you a happy new year coming. And we're gonna sign off, unless you have final words to say yourself, Tommy.
No, but I could see some tremendous improvement in you. I can tell you that.
Well, that's easy. I'm a self-made guy, despite things going in here.
Think about it. Another 15 weeks, you'll be a star.